Episode 111, the Apocalypse episode. In this week's episode, we're going to be talking about, of course, the coronavirus. We couldn't put it in the title of the episode because we didn't want to get flagged by the NSA or YouTube or something crazy. So you're here, you're listening now. We're going to talk about our favorite end-of-the-world movies, whether it's a zombie apocalypse, a contagion, something crazy, some virus, we'll see. But we're also going to discuss a little bit more real-world stuff about how the coronavirus is impacting our life and the lives of people we know. And hopefully we can come out on top and focus on the good stuff that's been going on this week. All right, well, let's get to it. Welcome to the Visionary Variety Podcast, where we cover cool stuff like photo, video, film, books, and technology. So switch on your brain and enjoy the show. All right, we got a few people on this episode. Let's go around and do a roll call. Who's all here and where are you from?
Hey, this is Gabriel, and I'm in New Braunfels, Texas.
Hey, it's Angela, and I'm here from Louisville, Kentucky.
And it's Nate. Everybody knows where I am. I feel like half the episodes I've had to explain where I'm from, what I do.
I am here. I'm Daniel, and I am also in San Antonio along with Nate. Let's talk about the coronavirus first of all. What's been going on with you guys, either just in your life or for us that have families? How is it affecting? I want to talk about how it's affecting our family. In the not so great stuff, but also the good stuff. So let's start with Gabe. How's it been affecting you guys?
Well, we were on a road trip whenever the poop hit the fan, kind of the news of it actually spreading.
Yeah.
So both of us work for the city. My wife is a school teacher, and I work for the recreational center as a personal trainer. So we both got off at the same time. We both got news that we're going to be going back to school on April 6th or back to work at April 6th. So we have like a long spring break. It's not too bad. I'm changing a lot of my training more online, and she's having a 3.5 week spring break. It's great.
Cool. How about you, Angela? What's going on up there?
I have a boring story, basically, just because my life has not changed very much at all, honestly.
You live in quarantine already.
I do. So this is easy peasy for me.
Lucky.
Corona life.
More or less, I just do editing and maybe some artwork as my work. So I'm still stuck at home regardless. I just won't have any editing work to do for a while since all the events are canceling. So that's
video
no bueno.
games.
True. It's very true. And also, hopefully I can get to do some more artwork or something during this time. Maybe do some live streaming or something since everybody's stuck at home, need something to watch. So, yeah, I think it'd be fun.
How about you, Nate?
Not much. I'm still out and about. I work in the medical field, so and people are like, "You do?" And I'm like, "Okay, calm down. I just do paperwork and stuff, so calm down."
He's a neurosurgeon.
At the moment, nothing's really changed. Little less people, less traffic in the morning.
Less traffic, yeah.
Up to this point, I guess nothing really on my end. I mean, I know it's affected people around me, but other than that,
yeah. As for myself, it's affected my family a little bit in that we can't really take the kids out anymore because all the local parks have closed.
Yeah.
The places we would take them to go play and just have fun, because this is essentially, like you said, Gabe, a longer extended spring break. We're very limited on what we can do with the kids. We're having to get creative. We're doing kind of some homeschool stuff at home. We got books and, learning time and video time and, this and that. And of course, lots of drawing and Lego time. That's all me.
Nice.
So we got to get creative with the kids. They're going a little crazy. As far as my job, my day job, luckily, it's, I'm an ATM tech, and ATMs don't get sick. So they're still breaking or needing upgrades. And, I'm still able to work. They've told me that I need to work from home, which is totally easy. It's either that or I'm sitting at Starbucks on my computer. It's the same thing. So I'm really, really, really fortunate. And I know a lot of my friends are not so fortunate with their jobs and their careers that, there's things that are ending, like concerts and public gatherings and, business meetings that my friends rely on those events happening for income. And they don't have them anymore. So I'm just trying to remain really grateful that I have what I have with my photography, which has been slow lately, just naturally. But also with my ATM job, it hasn't changed, thankfully.
Wow.
And
good.
I get to stay at home, which is cool because I get to help my wife, get to be with the kids. We've had a lot of good quality time.
That's
But like
good.
one of my friends I recently talked to, she's a photographer, and her husband is a professional driver for like very big name musicians, like Cher, and I forgot the other artists, some country
Mm.
artists. He drives around regularly, and these concerts that they would be driving to and from are shut down. Whatever
Man.
that driving company is, they laid off about 800 drivers because
Wow.
there's no need for them, which really sucks. And now they're scrambling trying to find some plan B.
Yeah.
And that's just, Abby Leone, he was out in Hawaii doing some, he was doing like tech production for some meetings, and either the place is closed or the gatherings were shut down because of, safety reasons.
Yeah.
And he had to come home early. He was in Hawaii.
Man.
I'd be like, I want a reimbursement on my trip. Thanks.
You're right. Yeah. I'm finishing that
Yeah.
last week, by golly. You send me back there.
Yeah.
I'll text something.
Yeah. Right. So a lot of people are really getting hit hard, and I'm just really feeling bad about those parents. They have to have someone to watch their kids. Like, geez, what would I do? If I had a normal, quote unquote, normal job that I lost or had to go to, and maybe Julie had to go to a job too. It's just surprise, you got to watch your kids all day long now.
Yeah.
And we're
I know
spending-
some businesses are allowing parents who have to have their kids home to have paid leave depending on where
Nice.
you work, but I
Yeah.
know not everybody is that fortunate.
Yeah.
So I think they're trying to come up with some solutions to these problems, but it's just a little bit at a time right now, unfortunately.
All right, so that's the not so great stuff that's happened as a result of the coronavirus. I had to slip it in there. Cardi B reference. If you know the video, you know what I'm talking about.
I've watched it too many times.
Yeah.
And I
It'll
won't have
never
to
leave.
admit how many times.
Coronavirus.
I'm scared to expose myself to that.
You should be scared to expose yourself to anything Cardi B related.
Oh.
She is her
Like,
own
I want to know,
virus.
but I don't.
the Cardi B virus. So let's talk about some good things that have happened as a result of maybe free time or being at home more or whatever. I'll start with myself. Being at home more, my wife and I basically did like crazy spring cleaning this past week. So
Nice.
yeah, with 4 kids, our house gets destroyed real fast.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Especially
Like
your
it-
kids.
Yeah, my kids, man. It's like it might take us maybe 4 hours to clean, some one section of the house. But how long does it take for them to unclean it? About 30 minutes of play, and it's all for naught. So our house has just slowly gone downhill in certain ways. So anyway, we did a bunch of cleaning. I rearranged my wife forced me to rearrange my office. She has this thing. She has this thing with rearranging. And
Yeah,
I'm
she
like,
does. I noticed that.
why? And she's like, it needs it. I'm like, but it doesn't. Why? And eventually I just
Makes
gave
things
in. I was
fresh.
like, whatever. One thing it will do is make my wife happy. So I did it. I told her, I was like, it's not broken. Don't fix it. But whatever. So we rearranged my office and it looks awesome. It's all clean. We got rid
That is
of a
kinda
bunch of
fun.
old. Yeah, I'm grateful
There
we
you
did it
go.
because we got rid of a bunch of old baby stuff we didn't need anymore. And my office desperately needed to be cleaned. It was getting crazy in here.
So you're saying that she was right.
Yeah, right. But
No, that's a
I'm
stretch.
glad she made me do it. I did. The results of rearranging was much needed.
That's funny.
The way we
Yeah,
got
that's
here,
right.
well, it's tricky.
Yeah, right. How about you guys? Any particularly good things that have come out of the changes you've had to make to adjust to things?
We went up to my grandparents, you and I, and our families and
Mhm.
everything were together. That was fun. So we
That
went.
was good.
We came back, and all this stuff's happening. And Sarah heard that we might get an extended spring break, so we were kind of holding our breath to get the news. And then we did. So we decided to go down to the valley to her sister's.
Oh, cool.
So the 5.5, 6-hour drive up to Longview was felt really long, and then we went
Yeah.
down to the valley. It was like 3.5 to 4 hours. Like, oh,
not
we
bad.
could do that. Yeah, so we had the iPad and Frozen 2, and
Awesome.
Daisy was cool.
She's getting good.
so
She's
that
getting
was
trained
fun.
for road trips.
Yeah, and we had all the toys and drawing stuff, and
You're
so
ready.
we stayed an extra day down there, and we just got back today. So that was cool, and it's been kind of forcing me to get creative on how to offer more online personal training.
Yes.
So
yes.
that's been kind of fun.
Yeah, I forgot to mention me too. I'm really leaning heavy into the online. I do one-on-one lessons like at Starbucks, like training and teaching
Oh yeah.
for Photoshop or Lightroom, whatever. But now I'm finding ways to do them remotely online, and
Yeah.
I'm getting some response on that. So I'm hoping to make that a thing, just kind of tide us over for a month or two until I can get back to doing regular shoots and things like that. Nate, Angel, what
Mhm.
about you guys? Anything that stands out?
I want to say yes, but everything's the same, so I guess that's good.
One of my friends was like, I basically live in quarantine already, so I don't like people, I don't like going out, so nothing's changed.
I think the main thing is I guess there's extra family time, extra time talking to people and friends that I haven't really talked to in a little bit. So that's good. So that's the biggest change for now. I mean, I'm hoping for more changes down the road, I guess, trying to get new projects started and things like that, because it's like we're not going anywhere. So yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, for a true artist, being shut inside or like trapped in a room is actually kind of an exciting thing. You're like, time to focus.
It's like I feel like I'm more productive than most other people at this time, probably. So I got to get to it.
Mm-hmm. How about you, Nate?
I was already cleaning, and then the virus kind of went live. So and then they encouraged nationally that we should start cleaning. So I was like, well. Yeah, but to kind of echo what y'all are saying, pretty much more family time, reevaluating some business side stuff. Really don't know what direction, but definitely doing that. And I guess just grasping on the good moments that we still had and have and moving forward, and cracking a lot of jokes about the virus.
Oh, so many.
So many memes.
At least on my end, just a lot of positivity, which I've been shunned by that already. A lot of people aren't too happy about that, but
stop being so positive.
Yeah, for real, like chill. I'm like, what?
We want more negativity. The world's ending. Make it worse.
So, but it's been good.
Talking about joking, laughing. Do you guys have any favorite memes or kind of coronavirus jokes?
I'm sure I have some saved on my phone somewhere. I need a minute to find them.
I mean, I personally love that Cardi B remix song. It's hilarious, especially the Elmo.
I hate it.
The Elmo dance move. It's just so that part gets me, man. So funny. But I saw a meme today where it was like meetings of 5 or more are banned, and so it was a picture of a family, and it said, six, family of 6, and the dad's like tossing one of the kids like out the window or whatever. Got to go.
Oh my gosh.
There's a bunch of funny jokes. I like the one where it's like, what are we going to call the kids that are, conceived during the coronavirus? Like we going to call them Corona kids or quarantines. What was the other one?
Oh my gosh. Coronials.
Oh gosh. I'm hoping, when you come across a weird name, you always think to yourself, oh, no one's going to name their kid this. No one will ever in their right mind. Someone's going to have a kid as a result of quarantine, and they're going to name it Corona.
That's
awful.
Know it. I know they are too.
You should put your money on that, because I guarantee you'll be rich, because that's heck no. You get Daniel, a side thing. You remember going to the river long time ago? We're on the river, and we heard some mom in the distance cry out for her child to do something like "Rebel, come over here," or do something, and we kind of under our breath said, "Who would name their child Rebel?" And then the person right next to us in our tube, I would.
She heard us.
That was terrible.
I'm dying.
Rebel, what the heck? They're wearing blue jean cutoff shorts in the river, so
real classy.
Okay, well,
tossing a beer to their kid. That's when I learned the lesson. Yeah, that's when I learned the lesson. Someone will always name their child a name you never thought anyone would name their child. Like Absidy.
I was about to say the same thing. A B C D E.
Dude, does Sarah have any crazy kid names from her school? Because I know teachers here at all.
Oh yeah, well she was in San Antonio, kind of the southeast side. So yeah, there were some fun names that I can't even.
Oh my.
Majestic.
I don't know. There's every letter of the alphabet.
Yeah.
In alphabetical order. I don't know.
I've just seen funnies like Steve Carell. There's an old movie. I forget the movie where he's like in his house just bored, and it's like, what you do in quarantine? I was like, oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, where he's acting all nerdy.
He's just walking around singing and banging on stuff.
Oh my gosh, being crazy.
I think it's 40-year-old virgin or something like that. He's just acting like the biggest dork in his house, like playing the tuba and singing karaoke with himself.
It's funny.
Laughing that the new currency is going to be toilet paper and whatnot.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm actually planning a photo shoot right now because one of my friends, she bought like a full hazmat suit with a respirator and goggles. And gloves, and she told me, she's like, hey, I have this suit. What do you want to do with it?
Oh my Lord.
So my brain instantly goes into like high gear. I'm like, oh, I got some like abandoned buildings right nearby. I'm going to do like a story shoot where it's like, what if the world actually ended with the coronavirus? What would it look like in like 100 years? So we're going to do, hopefully if it happens, we're going to do like a post-apocalyptic, kind of crazy thing.
Hoarding toilet paper.
Yeah, I'm thinking of having like, this whole backpack full of toilet paper.
Oh my gosh.
Or he's like hunting for it.
One I saw just recently, since all the beauty shops, hair salons, etc., closed down, at least here where I'm at.
Uh-oh.
Says, feels like we're 3 to 4 weeks away from learning everyone's real hair color.
Nice.
Just made me
Yes.
That's funny.
And there was another one where it was, what was it? Before the virus, I used to cough to hide a fart. Now I fart to hide a cough.
Nate, you posted that. Or you shared it.
Yeah.
So
And
funny.
another one that got me real good was right when they started stopping all the sports events and stuff. It was day 2 without sports. Found a young lady sitting on my couch yesterday. Apparently she's my wife. She seems nice.
Awesome.
That's good stuff.
Coughing in the airport is the new speaking in Arabic in the airport.
Allahu Akbar.
No.
Oh,
No.
man.
No,
Isn't
no,
it
no.
weird? Isn't meme culture an interesting thing that's come up in the past like 15 years? It's just like we deal with things with memes now.
Well, I
It's
mean,
really
it's the
weird
same
and great at the
process.
same time.
Yeah, we think in memes. We communicate with memes. Like it's an emotion when we send a meme or a GIF.
Yeah.
It
Mhm.
portrays things, and we don't have to use words.
It's the same thing about
Yeah.
text. People are like, I'd never text. And now you text. People are like, I'll never send an emoji. But you send an emoji. So,
Yeah. I'll never say LOL.
Mhm.
Well, let's talk about some movies. So I've noticed kind of an interesting trend, which seems kind of sadist, but people are watching epidemic movies.
There you go. It's
Contagious
perfect.
Yeah,
virus.
yeah, I can't
Outbreak.
do it
exactly
right
what you should watch
now.
and be afraid to go outside now.
I know you're not helping your mental state right now.
No.
So I'm going to continue with that though. I'm going to,
All right.
we're going to
let's
do it. So I want to talk about our favorite movies that have to do with either the end of the world, hopefully specifically some kind of outbreak, some kind of virus or, zombie takeover, bacteria, whatever. So who wants to start? Who's ready?
I got something that I didn't see on the list of the spreadsheet, which is probably because it's not a favorite, but it's terrible directing.
Mm.
Oh boy.
The Happening.
Yeah.
M. Night
that's a movie.
Shyamalan.
Oh man, I love his movies, but
Right.
except this one.
This one.
I don't know. The directing was terrible. Like Marky Mark, come on. But
Oh,
I like
no.
the idea of like the plants and Earth as a whole, as an organism, kind of fighting
Yeah.
back and killing like large groups of people with the tree sperm in the air.
Hallucinogenic or what? How did they?
It
did it
would
do what it
make
did?
you want to kill yourself.
Okay.
So
boy.
everybody was
Hormones and
killing
stuff.
themselves. Like there was a guy mowing the lawn, and
Yeah.
then he suddenly just kind of zoned out. He stepped off his driving lawnmower and laid
Oh,
down,
man.
and the
Oh.
lawnmower
No,
ran
no.
right over him. It was kind
No,
of
no,
stupid,
no.
but it was weird because these people somehow got creative on how to. So they went through this neighborhood, and all these people were hanging from the trees from their water hoses.
Whoa.
It was kind of I don't know.
That's some strong
It was weird.
pheromones right there.
But the directing was terrible.
Yeah.
The acting was terrible because I don't know. But I like the idea. But it's not a favorite because again the acting was just so bad. But it was kind of a
Yeah.
fun idea.
Yeah, someone on Facebook was like, "The Earth has its own, antibody system, and it's just fighting back with, biological substances like viruses." And I
Get
said,
out.
"The Happening much?"
I'm not too big on post-apocalyptic movies or
Right.
pandemic movies, so I haven't seen a whole lot of them. I think some of my favorites though have been Mad Max Fury Road.
Yeah.
Even though I haven't
Yeah,
seen
okay.
the other Mad Maxes, I watched this one and
Yeah.
I was pleasantly surprised. I thought it was really, really good.
It rocked. It was like almost a perfect movie.
Mhm.
Yeah. And there's a bunch of awesome, like action-oriented
The
females in that
stunts were
movie.
amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it had a not not an obnoxious feminist message, which is
Exactly.
good.
That's what I was gonna say. It was like it just felt natural, and
Yeah.
it just felt like that was awesome. I like
Mhm.
I like it a lot. Oh,
So
go
much
ahead,
practical
sorry.
effects. There wasn't a whole lot of CGI substitution. Like it was all mostly really
No.
done.
Yeah.
Yeah, y'all know I really like that a lot. Practical stuff is so good.
Yeah.
But on like the opposite end of the spectrum, I guess this counts as in the same genre. I really like Zombieland a lot.
What do you like about it?
I'm not. It's hilarious. I'm not into zombie movies at all, really, because I just don't.
Yeah.
One of my biggest fears is just like getting eaten alive or something. So seeing zombie stuff always freaks me out. It always has. But Zombieland doesn't have like a whole lot of that. It's not really gory at all. It's just really hilarious.
Yeah,
Like
the
Woody
humor.
Woody Harrelson's in it, and his whole character, he's like this big redneck, right? And he's just taking out zombies like no problem. But his main mission is just to go find some Twinkies. Scouring America to
Nice.
find a Twinkie.
It's great. What a
You know?
vision. Survival.
It's so
Which
good.
which movie is it that's kind of a romance movie while being a parody of zombie movies? And it basically the zombies have to eat brains to
wait.
get sensations from
Is
the
it
people they're killing.
Is it Warm Bodies or something?
Yeah,
like
Warm
that?
Body. Warm
I've
Bodies.
never seen that, but I've
it's
heard of it.
Yeah, check it out. It's funny, it's different, and I actually was really impressed with the little kind of world building made with the zombies. So the zombies, have this thing infect them, and they don't feel anymore. They don't have. I think they're losing their memories too of what it's like to live. So when they eat brains, they like through the neurons or the gray matter that they eat, they experience the memories and emotions of that person when they eat the brains, and that's
Mhm.
like a drug to them. They're like, "Oh my, this is like the best thing ever. This is how I live now." And I was like,
Yeah.
It's an
"Oh, that's
interesting
cool."
twist.
It's not just
Dang.
food. It's like, okay,
Yes.
you're eating it for the experience.
Oh, and
Wow,
it takes it on my
that's
brains.
different.
Yeah. As for myself, my movies on this list would be I gotta have I Am Legend. Now it's
Mm.
Yeah,
kind of a
of course.
zombie
Yeah.
film, kind of a survival film.
Mhm.
And like you,
It
Angela, I
counts.
don't like zombie movies, and I actually don't really have a whole lot of experience with apocalyptic movies because I don't like horror and I don't like
Right.
gore.
Yeah.
So I don't mind suspense, but I don't often go there just because it's usually kind of crossfades into
Yeah.
horror and other things I don't care to have in
Right.
my brain.
Yeah.
Right.
So I don't have a whole lot of repertoire in this zone, but I Am Legend I loved because Will Smith is great.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
back
like
then especially.
I don't know how to word it, but like the survival aspect of him being alone, and there's some
Mhm.
psychological stuff going on with him.
Yeah.
Mhm.
There's
Friends
loneliness.
with mannequins.
They're the mannequins. That was cool.
Right. That's one of my favorite parts of that movie.
I like the creativity that he showed, that he was a smart guy and he prepared and he had like redundancy and safety measures. That was really fun to me to watch that. And then to
Yeah.
kind of, play the what if game. Like, what if that was me? Would I be that smart? Would I think ahead far
Mhm.
enough to sustain myself?
Yeah.
We'll talk about that in a minute, but I really loved I Am Legend. And then I liked Contagion. I only watched it once when it came out, but I remember just really liking it. It was just a good,
I've never seen that.
suspenseful, a little bit of family drama because you got to have that.
Yeah.
Family dynamic with the dad and daughter.
Mhm.
And it was just a good movie. It really
Yeah.
made you think like this could happen. What would we do? And here we are.
Yeah. I've heard that movie being brought up a lot more recently because
Mhm.
of recent events. Apparently, it's kind of similar-ish
Yeah.
with the disease. I don't know. I was trying to watch it before this episode, and I thought I was on Netflix, but yeah, it's not now. So
Bummer.
I
Bummer.
do know a lot
That
of
was
people
on
are
purpose.
watching Bird Box.
Bird
Bird
Box.
Box?
Yeah.
What a great movie to watch when you can't do nothing.
So yeah, I'm Legend, Contagion. 28 Days Later was really intriguing. I never finished it, unfortunately. I like that actor. And I had to add on here a book. I'm pretty sure I brought this up on one of our audiobook review episodes that I did with Daniel Walzak. But Cold Storage is such a great novel. It's really, really cool. It basically, there's a smart bacteria that is like, I don't want to say sentient, but it's intelligent, and it has all the chemical compounds and kind of protein programs in its body that it can take care of any material. Like it can metabolize through rubber soles of protective boots. It can
Yeah.
I
eat
don't
metal.
like
It can
any
go
of
through
that.
anything,
Wow.
and it's terrifying because nothing can stop this bacteria. And of course, it crawls really slow which adds to the suspense. But it does infect humans and uses their sentience as a vehicle to spread. And I won't say how because that's the greatest part of the book. But get Cold Storage, get the book, get the audiobook. I got it for free from my library, and it was, I'm going to say it's almost like 95% a perfect novel, and I loved it all the way through. So cool, terrifying, and fun all the same time. And it wasn't super long. It wasn't like a 25-hour book. So that's it for me. Nate, what about you?
I did make the mistake and watch Maze Runner, the death pool.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot about that scene. There's a cure going around for a virus. I was like, well, yeah. So
The government has it.
I guess I'm part of that group of people that would watch that during this time. But yeah, it was. I don't hear much about the Maze Runner anymore. So it was. I thought it was well done, but I think just the timing when it came out with like Divergent and all that stuff and Endgame just didn't really give it that launch it needed.
It felt like a copycat franchise, but it was already a well-established book series already.
Yeah.
Right.
These weird trends in Hollywood that happens. Everything's the same for like 2 or 3 years in a row.
Yeah, it's very weird.
You know, I tell people all the time. I said I'm down for suspenseful, but I am by myself a lot, and I have a great imagination.
Kiwi.
So there's the few times I've watched some pretty interesting things. I'm just like, yeah, no, I'm still a kid. I don't care. Forget that.
Noises.
I'm done.
Yeah, that's scary.
This is mostly unrelated, but still hilarious. Have you guys seen the scene from Frozen 2 with Olaf running through the enchanted forest?
Yeah.
He's
I don't
singing,
think I
what is he
have.
singing? Everything. When I'm older, everything will make sense. It is
Yeah.
so friggin' funny.
So he's running around, and the camera's right in front of his face, and the thing is chasing him.
We've watched it because we got kids.
Right.
I don't suppose y'all seen Frozen 2, have you?
Not yet.
Thanks for-
I think it's supposed to be on Disney Plus maybe now. So
Yeah, it's not as catchy as the first one.
I don't know. I think it's
Maybe
almost
that's a
better in
good
some
thing.
ways.
So it's better, like in the story, the graphics,
Yeah.
everything. But I just feel like the music, it just the songs don't get stuck in my head like they did in one. Because we watched Frozen 1, the first one, over and over all day. But Daisy loves it. She narrates the whole movie. It's amazing.
That's hilarious.
Well,
So does my 13-year-old niece. So that's funny.
Well, do yourself a favor, everyone listening, and you guys here, YouTube. What is it called? Is it When I Get Older or When I'm Older? I think it's When I'm Older.
Like that. Yeah.
Olaf, and oh man, it's so funny.
Hmm.
Anyway, my dad moment there.
That's funny.
So let's talk about the survival aspect of some of these films. I guess it's more of a story element in I Am Legend because he's living on his own, trying to find other people, and trying to not die every day.
hmm
I know, like in 28 Days Later, is a little bit of surviving. He's kind of going on this like trip to try to find something or some people. What about the other movies you guys mentioned? Is there a lot of surviving and living off the grid or anything like that?
One movie that I didn't really like too much was World War Z. Aside from all the crazy, really cool action, and I love the crazy, fast, aggressive zombies and stuff.
Scary.
But there was no like real aspect of like survivalist.
Like, what does everyday life look like?
Yeah, there was nothing of that. So it didn't really. I guess it didn't really make it feel personal and real to me. It was more fantasy because he was just on a plane, on a ship, and then he was on the lab. That was about it. There's no like real life. Yeah, so it's kind of. But it did happen really quick.
Like a character can travel across America to solve some problem in a movie. Like, how did he get all the way there?
And never go to the bathroom and never eat.
Yes. And that's why I loved I Am Legend. You see him eating, and he's doing everyday life.
And that's amazing for Brad Pitt, because Brad Pitt seems to always eat something in his movie.
That's true. Ocean movies, he was always eating. Every single scene in the oceon movies, he was eating. I love it.
That's true.
That's in his contract.
That's his jaw. He just has the jaw muscles.
Oh,
That's so funny.
He looks sexy when he eats.
That's great. So how would you guys, if you guys had kind of an ideal, into the world kind of homestead, like how would you guys survive? Have you guys thought about that? Like how well would you fare?
All the time.
When society collapsed, no technology, no infrastructure, how well do you think you guys would do?
I'm used to had considered this stuff because my dad was a Y2K prepper.
Oh,
yeah.
Do tell. Let's listen. I'm ready.
So he wasn't like a hardcore one or anything. He didn't have his own bunker like some people ended up
that
making
you know
back
of.
then. Well, you got a point. But how old was I when this happened? I was like 7. So my recollection of like all the craziness isn't the best at this moment, but I'll try to remember what I can. Basically, just stocked up on a ton of canned goods, non-perishable stuff. I want to say we had maybe at least 200 cans worth of things down the basement. Like we didn't have a lot of stuff to last like a year or whatever, but maybe at least a few months or something. So get your canned food.
Yeah.
You get a lot of water and a water filter. That's what we did. We had 2 liters, lots and lots of 2 liters. I don't even know where we got all these 2 liters because we don't drink a lot of soda. So
the underground water market.
Full of water, and he put like a little bit, I think like a drop of bleach in them so that way it wouldn't mold or anything. So you filter it through the water filter and it's supposed to clear it out. Because we had one of those fancy water filters that had silver in it, and that was supposed to be really good at purifying stuff, apparently. Yeah. So we had that, and we also had like, I think even a tote full of water as well, in case things got that bad to where, a tote, like a big tote. I wish I knew how many gallons it was, but it was a lot. So we had that. We had also a kerosene stove
Oh wow,
Cool.
and a tote full of kerosene.
sounds like a camping trip.
It really does. We had a washboard, a machete.
Ooh, a machete, yeah. Now it's getting good.
Let's see. We had a book about what kind of plants you can eat out in the
Cool.
wild. You can eat cattails, you can eat dandelions, etc., etc. Flashlights, of course, batteries. I don't know if we had I don't know. We didn't have a generator, so that was the next step up that we didn't do is have like a portable generator that could help charge up some things if you really needed to. And also you gotta be prepared for looters.
Oh yeah.
So you know what
What'd you
that
got?
means.
Were you packing some meat?
Maybe some. I don't want to say how much at the time it was.
Oh
but
gosh,
We're in Texas.
they're not. I'm sure.
Little Angie had a Tommy gun. There was a really cool show. I forgot. I think it was called like Apocalypse Preppers. Gabe, you remember that show that they would rate the prepper?
Yeah, Doomsday Preppers. Yeah, I still watch
I
that.
never watched it.
Oh, it's still going. It's a cool
Yeah, it's
show.
on Netflix. Yeah.
Yeah, we were not that level, but yeah, we were like the level below, I guess, maybe.
That show is cool because every person kind of has their own, bias or their own way of prepping for whatever, and they each have great ideas. So it's kind of like as you watch them, you kind of learn like each if you could pick and choose like certain things from these people's ideas and plans, you'd be pretty well set because they all have good stuff going on just in different ways. Some people are just crazy, but there's a smart people in there too.
Yeah, I think we were I think we were gonna farm and everything because I think we had a huge package of seeds and stuff, like of a lot of different kinds of vegetables and stuff, and I think we had a mountain of toilet paper as well. So it kind of equates to what's going on right
Before
now
it was
a little
cool.
bit.
And
Yeah,
that's why they're not suffering for toilet paper right now.
Yeah,
You're still using it. Haven't bought it in years.
oh my god.
Wash and reuse.
Oh gosh.
Okay, let's not.
Someone was joking about selling toilet paper on Facebook, and I was like, if it's lightly soiled, can I get a discount?
Ew, no.
Use slightly.
Oh yeah, we also prepared for pandemics and stuff in case, because there was always rumors of that for years. First was like the bird flu, which I remember clearly my dad was concerned about for a while because I guess maybe it was spreading. I don't know. And that's where we learned about elderberry extract and how good it can be for
That'd be
respiratory stuff. Yeah, we use that even just if we had the flu. So if you take some of that before, like at the very onset that you're starting to feel unwell, it'll help, I guess, help prevent the virus from multiplying. So it'll help you knock it out early if you catch it. And it has helped. It's not like a miracle thing, I don't think.
You just give the whole world that. And we're good.
It's not a miracle thing, but it could help.
That and colloidal silver will save the world right there.
He made that too. He made that too.
Silver. Yeah, silver has got antimicrobial properties, like it kills or stops microbes.
Yeah, we have that stuff all the time.
Isn't that the stuff that dyed the guy like blue or purple?
Yes.
Well, he used it topically and he used it too much.
Yeah.
My dad always used to criticize that guy.
That guy was crazy. He looked like Beast from X-Men.
Yeah.
Or
he did.
Big Smurf.
Yeah, I think my dad saw a video of that dude when he was like making the stuff, and he's like, "Oh, he's making it all wrong. He's using way too much or something like that." I forget. So he's like, "I know how to make it right, so we're fine." And I guess we were, because I did used to drink it every now and then when he would recommend for some reason, and I'm not blue, so there you go.
You're not that blue.
Wear a lot of makeup.
No, I'm not like Mystique, I swear.
It's crazy. A lot of my family members have like astronaut food storage somewhere, like the vacuum seals you have to open.
Oh
and
yeah,
then
we
you're
have
able to
that
eat
too
it.
here.
Oh my gosh.
MREs, I think they're called.
And there's some suspicion I always have about my family because they know a lot about guns. I know my last name is that. I'm like, but how do you know what that is? Because I know what that is because I played a video. But how do you know what that is?
That's
and I'm like, because you're busy. So there's always that question mark. Just joking, but my uncle, he's definitely in it. Like every Christmas gift, birthday, I always get something to like save the world. So
that's hilarious.
Yeah, it's like, do you know something I don't know? Because like every year since you've been part of our family, I'm getting like pieces here.
Watch the world suddenly ends and you get some mysterious letter from your family like, we've been preparing you for this every year.
Right.
Hope you still have everything we got you.
Well,
it's in your genes.
Area 51 is our bunker.
Yeah, as far as like how I would survive long term is, the farming option is good, having lots of seeds and knowing the agricultural knowledge, which I don't. I feel like one of the first things I would try to do is like raid some libraries and just gather information because I have so much to learn about agriculture and, medicine and things like,
Yeah,
what plants you can eat and what you can't. Like that's
that's
a big
true.
thing to understand.
For some reason, I thought you were going a different direction. Just like I need all of the entertainment I can get while stuck.
Distract
Like,
myself. Just ultimate escapism.
As you run in there, you're like, oh, sci-fi.
Wait a second. Let me grab this one too.
sorry.
So yeah, I would get as much information as I could, just for my own long-term, education and living better and improving my quality of living. But the stores would be rated pretty quick. But I when I think of like the I Am Legend, world, you see him going like house to house and just getting canned goods and things. So that would be an option too, is just kind of looking through, storage units and homes, and then like
that would be a tough
storage.
decision going to the library and picking what you need. It's a big place.
Yeah, I get the sweetest car though, and find some like sports car drive around town.
Nice.
Maybe you might need to get a bulldozer though, because the cars would be all over the place.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, stocking up on weapons and medication and bandages and things like that, depending on how like dangerous the areas you're in, if you're hunting or being, if you have any threats or.
I think I would want to find some source of electricity so I can take my camera and document it all. But
oh my goodness,
well, good luck with
somebody
that.
has to know what happened.
You can make your own crazy wall with all the red string connecting all the clues, and
Yeah.
and when someone finds you in 100 years, they'll see your story.
Oh my
Makes me think of
gosh.
Cloverfield with the camera. Or,
Yeah. As far as like where to live though, you'd probably be safest living outside of town.
Out in the country.
I got some photographers together last week when things started to kind of ramp up. And we talked about, half the time was about, Corona stuff. And one of the dudes was like, yeah, I'm good. Like I live in Bulverde, like outside of the main town. I live kind of in the middle of nowhere. And he's like, there's just like herds of deer going through my neighborhood every week. I would be set.
Yeah.
He's like, and I got lots of guns, so we'd have venison for a long, long time.
well, my wife has, her mom has a lot of property, like 90 acres, south of San Antonio area, somewhere down there. And so we've been out there a couple times. It's kind of like a shooting range, just to shoot trees or whatever. But I plan on clearing out an area and maybe putting like a mini home out there.
Cool.
And, hiding some caches of supplies in secret locations and recording the GPS coordinates. Yeah. And so I actually do. I feel like as a martial artist, I really focus on like self-defense. So I feel like Jason Bourne when I go into a restaurant, because I count everybody and I look at the exits and I try not to face my back to the entrance or an exit. So I'm always, this stuff is always, and it sounds like a paranoid thing, but I'm always prepared and safe. So that's one of like the main topics that I talk about in my self-defense courses that I teach. Is just being not just self-aware, but aware of your situation and aware of your environment.
Oh, thank God.
So I'm always like prepared. No, and I'm always doing that stuff. So weird.
Yeah.
And I guess it's part of my nature. And I feel more safe actually doing that. I don't feel paranoid. So yeah, I mean, I feel like I'd survive pretty well. You got to find a team of people that you would trust, and each person would have a role. And, you have those roles cycle through. Yeah. And you always want to have some kind of medic. So having them on your team, having somebody specifically for agriculture and then self-defense and
but you'd also need to cross-train so there's redundancy in case someone dies or leaves.
Yeah, and you can hold camps on how to teach them how to do basic sutures, and
that would be my weak spot,
and how to farm and stuff. So I have like everything planned, and it's all in the back of my head. Like I could write it out in a list of exactly what I need and where I would want to go and how to set it up.
Nice.
So cool. These recent events have kind of pushed me to actually start to look into the property and map it out and see the best, strategical location for this mini home that I would like to set out there, at least for like a monthly little check-in, make sure it's clean running, and then maybe make it like a campsite for family members only to just visit every now and then just for fun. But
get a well dug out there. You'd be real good.
Yeah, there's a well, there's oil out there.
Nice.
We would just put up a windmill for electricity and solar panels for electricity. So, I mean, it's really set. And the family that was living there, they were totally self-sufficient. It was like 3 generations ago that they lived on that property and did everything even grew humans. I mean, they
Growing humans.
Yeah, they grew
I'm
humans
scared.
In a vat.
before you go to the hospital. So those kind of things, medical, like can you give birth and
Yeah.
can
Oh,
you
that's
just
good to
have
know.
normal life, everything you need on your property? It's
Hey, you want my wife there?
yes, yeah, totally.
She's a doula right now, so.
Well, and mom and dad, Daniel, they're planning. They've probably talked to you about it. They're planning on this whole property that all the family members will be on, and each of us will have like several acres, a distance enough for us to enjoy our property, but then we can all come together. So I feel like my parents and me personally, I love that scenario. I feel pretty confident in taking care of myself.
When we were driving out to Longview to see our grandparents, did you notice like about every 10 miles, some place was selling those little sheds, those little mini house sheds?
I love those things. Yeah,
They're so cool. I was like, I want one for my studio or my office.
Yeah.
Put it in the backyard.
I'm always thinking about that.
Put a
Oh
fan
my
in there, some
gosh.
electricity, camera. Great.
Nice.
Gun, bunker,
Yeah.
water.
Yeah.
I thought it would be cool
Turret.
to have a Gatling gun. I thought it would be awesome to like have a mini home, on your property, but have like a secret like latch that would go down, and you'd have like a larger, more secured spot, like dug underground, like
That'd be so
yeah.
cool.
the storage. What is it called? The storage containers. Get like
Conics,
two of
yeah.
those.
I think that's pretty much what it is. Yeah.
Storage container. Yeah.
Yeah, storage containers. Like put those underground, connect them, give some kind of redundant power and like self generators if you need that, things like
Yeah.
that. But that would be cool to have. That's actually like the real place you'd be in.
Yeah.
But the tiny home would just be kind of on top.
It's a front.
Man.
You need a little old
Awesome.
lady on a chair.
Well, on the Doomsday Prepper show, this guy buried, it was some like 30 or 40 buses underground
What the
and made
heck?
this whole maze. And I think the problem that he ran into once he got it all constructed was airflow. Yeah, it was like an emergency
Wow.
airflow thing
Whoa.
for whatever reason. So he
That's
had this
crazy.
whole, every room, like 2 buses side by side or like long hallway front to back. It was
Wow.
really amazing. He had
Can't-
everything.
Man. I
Out
can't
there.
even
It was
wrap
cool.
my mind around the
Yeah.
fact of you burying buses.
I know. Look it up. It's really cool. And there
Dang.
was an episode. There's a whole episode, I think, on Doomsday Preppers about it.
Wow.
Or
Yeah.
I'm sure you could find him. A documentary
Yeah.
on what he did. It's really cool.
Jeez. All right. Might have to just to believe it.
It is really fun. And then there's
crazy.
these abandoned missile silos that this guy made this
yeah.
whole
I love that one.
living apartment in this missile silo. It's so creepy and dark, but he made this whole
Whoa.
like hippie orgy house thing. It's so weird.
Oh,
He's so weird.
okay.
Look that up too. It's really dirty.
He won it in an
Okay.
auction, right?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, and above you won't see anything. It's just like a little
Little shed.
utility closet shed,
Mm-hmm.
and then you open that up, and then there's the stairs.
So many great photo shoots I could do down there.
Yeah, really strange.
just asking for movies to
Wow.
be shot in that place.
Dang.
Yeah, there's some cool locations. I think some developer bought a missile silo and like sliced each level into different types of like residential. You got your farming with. And then you got your power supply, your water filtration, and he's renting out each room as like a condo. So these
Nice.
billionaires
Elite.
will
Gosh.
buy, they'll buy their place to survive in those underground.
Dang.
Don't forget your code.
Yeah.
It's being constructed right now. I don't know
Cool.
if it's complete yet, but yeah, that's a real thing,
Wow.
like a Noah's Ark kind of idea.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
That makes me think of that game you've been playing lately, Gabe. Is that any parallels there?
Yeah, Fallout 4. Oh man, it's my favorite game. And if it wasn't for the building aspect, building your own settlement, then it would be boring. But yeah, so this guy, nuclear war. He gets down in a bunker. He's frozen. He wakes up, from like 200 or 300 years later.
Classic.
Captain America.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. So he comes out on top, and the whole
Demolition Man.
world is completely changed. There's mutants, and all the animals are mutated, and
Mhm.
you have
Wow.
I don't know what square mileage you have to open world explore, but it is really, really cool. I put some like 600 or 700 hours in, and I haven't even beat the
Oh
game.
my.
So,
Could it be a movie? Is there any movie material there, or is it just kind of?
yeah,
games.
it could be an okay movie. I mean, it'd be more like
It's kind of campy, isn't it? There's
Probably
little bit
more of a drama
comedy.
or something, since there's
It'd
like
be- it would be a good
factions
drama.
and stuff.
yeah, it would be more of a Dawn of the Dead kind of feel
Mm.
Mm.
than anything.
One of the things I want to learn is archery and being a sniper.
Oh my
Yeah,
But
gosh.
that's something I want to do. I'm
Totally.
not saying something is I'm currently doing, but
I mean, maybe you should. You don't know.
You know,
what's gonna happen.
like Gabe and a few of the other comments that were made. There's always that random, not fear. I don't live in fear, but just that like, what if, or like, what if you're in the
Yeah.
restaurant and someone just like,
It's a responsible concern.
yeah. I mean, like I relate to just sitting in a restaurant. I'm like, you know, what if somebody just stood up and was
Yeah.
like, bye everybody.
Yeah.
And,
Bye, everybody.
See ya.
so it's not a fear. I'm not like paranoid or anything. It's just
Sadly, these days we imagine those things. Unfortunately,
it's always fun going to the movie theaters. I'm like, yeah, you know, the exit
my wife
door.
doesn't like movie theaters.
We all need to make sure we have a role in like a big party squad or whatever for the apocalypse, like it's a video game.
The last time
We
I
need
was in a
recruit.
movie theater with friends, they're like, all right, so that side door opens, I'm out of here. I'm like, no, that's a bad idea. Your first move is to drop and see what happens first and then get out. Don't just run because you're a moving easy target.
Well, I think that that concludes our discussion tonight about how we would live in the end of the world.
A little different than what we normally do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I think that's enough for tonight. So thank you guys so much for contributing and being on the show tonight. Appreciate it.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
awesome. It was
no
fun.
problem.
It was fun.
Yeah, great. Now go watch some scary movies and have anxiety attacks about
Yeah.
it.
Woo.
Buy more toilet
Oh,
paper.
man.
You'll need more toilet paper by then.
Oh, that's very true.
Ew.
I'm out. Dang it.
On that note, y'all have a good night. And listeners out there, I hope you guys out there are safe and healthy. Let us know how the coronavirus is affecting your life
Oh my gosh.
and your jobs. Hopefully in the email or message with something good that's come out of it. And we hope to hear back from you guys soon. And we'll be with you next week. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Wash your hands. Bye.
If you like this show, be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcast app. You can also find our previous episodes there and listen whenever you want. We love to hear from our listeners, so if you have any comments or suggestions for future episodes, you can reach us at tvvpodcast@gmail.com. Thanks for listening and have a great week. Who's frying greasy bacon?
I know.
I heard that. I was like, well, sound effects.
What is that? Stubble?
Oh
Gabe,
my
is that you?
gosh.
It's Gabe. You won't be able to hear it. You moved your microphone, and on our end, it sounded like you were frying some fries or something.
Wow. Well, I don't know.
That was weird.